Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's time for another manga volume review. Welcome once again, guys. This was sent to me by Press, another volume for me to review for you guys. I'm releasing left and right all the reviews, guys, 4 to 5 per week. I have so many that I have still to read, so that's why I'm trying to release as many videos as possible per week. So hopefully you guys are catching up with every single video. I am trying to post them on social media as well, that way more people can get to them faster. But it is what it is. So this is going to be on Game of Familia, and there is a parental advisory thing to it. For those who don't know, these usually, if there is a warning to it, there's a mature content sticker to it, usually they come sealed, because even in the bookstore, a kid can pick it up and, you know, they can flip through it. So they seal them for that purpose. This one was sealed. I will say the mature content that this one does have is not nearly comparable to others that I've seen. So there is some, not a lot. The some that it does have, not necessary. So it is what it is. Before anything else, though, if you haven't checked out Press, go check out Press. Great company. They release so many mangas, light novels, and now also webtoons through their company. So make sure you're checking them out, giving them some love. And you guys can also subscribe to this channel, because that also supports that company by you subscribing to this channel and watching those videos. So make sure you watch those videos. Make sure you comment, like, and share, because that helps tremendously as well. And yeah, if you want to catch up on all these other videos, there is also some playlists in the description below that I provided for you guys. So okay, this is going to be a volume 1 on Game of Familia. I wasn't really sure if I was going to like it or not, to be honest. Usually when it's mature content, is one of those like, okay, it could be good, because I have read stuff that's good that has mature content, and I will say it goes beyond just nudity. It's mature content because of the language they use, because of possibly SA happening. There's a lot of violence, and there's a lot of, not gore, but, you know, in that sense, there is some gore to it. So essentially, our protagonist, the guy, we don't really see him here. There he is. He is taken to a new world with his mom and 2 sisters. Now it is a stepmom and stepsisters. They make it very much like their step, because I guess they eventually want them to get together. I don't know. But they together are forced into an agreement of making what it is a group of Familia. And this Familia essentially is used to go and kill these weird demon looking guys that are called dead males. Now it's a world where, at least where they're at, it's all females. So he's the only male. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh, they're going to go that direction. They actually didn't. A lot of girls are not attracted to the guys. And in fact, a lot of them, in order to be warriors and to have powers, they have to give up something in order to please whatever spirit that they're going to make a contract with. So that's kind of most of the middle of the story. They arrive, they have that whole thing. He has a weird encounter with his mom, saying, "You're just like your dad." And, you know, the dad died, so he's like, "Yeah, I can comfort you. That way you can make a better decision." And it's very awkward. And then past that, he has to make a decision, because he basically made all 3 girls of his family the wielders of the sword, which they don't have to do contracts, they just have to wield the sword that kills the demons. And he's taking up all the other roles in one, which means he needs to make 3 contracts. He has to give up something. This is where it gets a little confusing, because he offers them the contract of, I'm going to give up the fact that I don't get bored. Like, it seems like you guys don't want to get bored. But it all ends up being like they end up living within his body, and he's still able to wield their power. So I don't know if he gave up anything, to be honest. He plays along with a lot of type of magic. One of them is making golems, which obviously he came up with because of this world, us knowing stuff like that. He confronts a pig dude who is SAing characters because he has power and money. So he confronts them, he makes them run away with his tail between his legs, and he gets the king involved, and that's where kind of the volume ends. He goes, and we think that he's going to make a contract with the king. The king ends up sending soldiers to help the girls fight in the front lines, but then we find out that the soldiers are only there because our protagonist decided to take the queen and make, kidnap her and make her his, so that the king would be jealous and be like, give her back, and he's like, nope, not until you send soldiers. So he's blackmailing the king with his own queen, which is ridiculous. Yeah, that in a nutshell is the first volume. Do I like it? Surprisingly, I did not mind this series. There's a lot of good elements to it. Like I said, some of the fan service scenes were not necessarily had to be there. Some of them is when they're fighting and that they're losing their armor, and it's kind of like, okay, you don't have to show all that. And some of it is just them relaxing in the bathtub or whatever. So it's scenes like that. It's like, okay, you almost had me with the story, but because you're adding so much of that, you lose me a little bit. Because to me, again, and I've said this before, the authors just seem like they need to depend on that for their story to be good, and they themselves don't have any confidence that their story is going to be good enough. So sadly, that's where I think the story is, and hopefully if I do end up reading volume 2, it focuses more on the story and less on giving fan service to people that probably not gonna, read the whole thing, because there is a lot of dialogue in it. So some people that are looking for fan service, they don't want to read dialogue. So it is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching this. If you haven't done so by now, subscribe to my channel. You guys can find this on many websites, but also on stores. It is by Yen Press. Again, just fair warning, there is that warning sticker. So if you do buy it physically, one, you won't be able to flip through the pages like you usually do with other books, and two, they might have to ask for an ID, so you know who you are. So yeah, warning. Thank you guys so much for your love and support, and like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.